Okay, listen. I love words. I do. I genuinely love words, okay? In back in school, my best subject was English, and all of that I'm not sure if you guys ever like did English when you were in school, but a lot of English circles on this really interesting concept called words. And the crazy thing about words, one of the most interesting thing about words for me personally is that they have meanings. Now, words meanings can change, they can adapt, they can be, they can be different. Typically, words meanings change, slightly over a longer period of time and like can encompass more things or less things. But personally, I'd like to consider myself a word cell. If I did do engineering when I was a kid. And so, I'm a bit of a shape rotator, but I've been more of a word cell after school and after college as opposed to a shape rotator for a while. And so words are really important to me. And it seems like for a lot of conservatives, they claim that we as progressives are the ones destroying words. And a lot of like people who call themselves centrists as well say that they believe this too, that progressives and the radical left are destroying words, and words no longer have like real meanings that typically mean anything or whatever, right? I disagree with this. Words meanings do change, but the drasticness of their change and what that means afterwards can tell you a lot about the mindset behind the person who's making that change to begin with. Why are we talking about this? Well, because I'd like to talk a little bit about a little guy. You may have heard of him. His name is Joe Rogan. He went on to his Joe Rogan podcast to do Joe Rogan things for a little bit. And he brought up a little country. Once again, you may have heard of this. I know a lot of this is underground. It's called Canada. It has a couple of people in it. It's a pretty small country. Not too many people talk about it that often. But Canada is interesting because a lot of conservatives and centrist people have said to themselves that they don't like the way Canada's been run, especially after the Panny D, as many people call it. You know what I'm talking about. And the way that Trudeau and his government has treated, the populace. So I think that it'd be great to listen to what Joe Rogan had to say on this issue because, he probably said something interesting. Let's figure it out.
Canada is communist.
Okay, well, we got there. All right. Well, it seems like we figured out what this was about. As you all know, heralded leftist communist country that follows after the works of Marx, Justin Trudeau, known for throwing away the Canadian Constitution and replacing it with the Communist Manifesto. This has happened. It's all true. I've heard it before. I saw it. I saw an article about it. I didn't open the article, but I saw it and I liked it. And I was like, man, that's crazy.
Canada's crazy. They're fucked. They're fucked. They got to get rid of that guy. How much time does he have? I feel like he's been prime minister for a while. Am I wrong? I don't know. I don't know how their system works up there. I have zero understanding of their system.
You know what, Joe? I disagree with you a lot, but on that point, I think I'm just going to have to agree. I'm going to have to acquiesce on that part. Trudeau has been prime minister for a while, just so you know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But when you're a prime minister of like a parliamentary system, like in Canada, the prime minister is not directly elected. Wait, is Canada's prime minister directly elected by the people, or is it his party, just like it is in the UK? Yes, he's chosen by ritual combat. So basically, what happens? Yes, thank you. I just wanted to make sure because I was pretty sure that he was elected by the party and not the people, but as it is. So here's how the parliamentary system works. Typically, is that they have like representatives like us, and they could have like an upper chamber, like a Senate, but they don't always have to. But parties get voted in. They have a bunch of parties, and the one with the most amount of, and the one that wins a majority, and that could be whatever, or that has the biggest party and builds a coalition to elect a leader, votes, and they're the biggest party, right? They vote on a person to lead the party, and that person becomes the prime minister. He's the leader of the party, basically. Okay, so just so like an allegory to like our country, that would mean that like Jim Jordan and Nancy Pelosi would be like the prime ministers or equivalent of being like the president, right? If like you know, things were switched around and it was just like basically just the House. It would be like if the Democrats got more seats than the Republicans in Congress, that means Nancy Pelosi would be president. If like the Republicans did, that means that Jim Jordan would be president. Or I guess it would be like Schumer would be president for the Dems and McConnell would be president for the Republicans, because they would elect him to be the president, right? And that's how it's taken. Now there are like no confidence votes and stuff like that you can do, and you know, it just that's typically how it works. And obviously they can resign, as we saw with Boris Johnson.
Yeah, I never looked into it at all. I just liked him. I liked him before the pandemic.
Trudeau?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, he's a handsome guy.
Yeah.
Seems sweet.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that it? Is it just, I really liked him. I liked his politics. You know? This political figure, I really enjoyed him. What do you like about him? He's handsome. He seems nice. Okay. Apparently that's not good enough. He's hot, that's good enough. I guess he makes them horny, so that's good enough to be prime minister. Maybe that's it. I mean, what do you like about him? I mean, he's hot, I guess. How long has Trudeau been in office? It's been a little while. 6 years? Yeah, Trudeau hasn't even been in office for like as long as our average presidents are in office. He's only been in office for 6 years.
You know, it's like good looking guy, confident, good talker. Yeah. And then during the pandemic, I'm like, oh, you're a fucking dictator. Yeah. Oh, you don't like criticism. You're trying to shut down criticism by saying that all your critics are misogynists and racists. Yeah. He said that about the trucking people, the truckers. He called them all misogynists and racists. Oof. Yeah, he's gross.
I don't know. So here's the thing. I don't know whatever happened to like free speech. I don't know whatever happened to. Does Canada not have free speech? I know they don't have it like, you know, we do, but like most of the time you can like say whatever you want. Is he not allowed to say that? Yeah. What about my free speech? What the party leader can't talk about how he wants to talk about people who disagree with him? What the heck? He didn't say go kill him. He didn't say go kill him. He was just like, I think they're misogynist and racist. And the thing is, a decent amount of them were. Like when there's like a bunch of people, like in those trucker protests, there were a decent amount of Nazi cells. There were a decent amount of white supremacist cells there. There were actual literal Nazi flags and Nazi marches going on in there. There were 100% people rolling around in Canada with the Confederate flag. What's that supposed to mean, dog? Hello? Don't you have like other minorities who you like killed and tortured to celebrate? Like, why do you have to pick like America's? Isn't there some flag that like celebrates the killing of isn't there some special flag that celebrates the killing of like Native Americans up there in Canada? You love that shit. You guys love that shit. What the heck? Why you gotta pick ours? At least try and be a little original. Yeah, it's called the British flag. Well, actually, it's still the Canadian flag, but a special one, like another one. That's like almost solely that. Yeah, Canadian flag in Canada. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was like custom American Canadian flags. There were like Trump supporters as well. The shit was insanity. Like look at this. What the fuck is this? This is in Ottawa. The capital of Canada, I'm pretty sure. That's the capital of Canada, right? Ottawa? What is this like trucker Confederate flag? What the fuck is this shit? It's insanity. What's going on? And not to mention the politicians that were actually standing. Oh, and like this too? You know, like this? You know, as it be? Is this why Canada has to mandate that there has to be a certain amount of culture? Like Canadian specific like media and culture, or else like it'll just be absorbed by America? Because like, why the fuck are you guys flying the Gadsden flag? Why are you flying the Gadsden flag? You're Canadian. What are you talking about? Trump 2024, make America. This is in Ottawa. You can't vote for him. What's happening? I don't know. Like, the thing is, I can understand. You can get mad and say that, like, oh, but Shark, not all of these people are like that. Sure, okay, that's fine. But to sit here and like completely deny that they didn't have like a really crazy like line of people that they allowed to be amongst them who were like pretty bad human beings, and the fact that what they were looking for was some, and just so you know, the entire trucker protest was about literally one thing, and it was about not getting vaccinations, just like all of the other vaccinations that they have to take to have their job. They need vaccinations to be truckers. They're going back and forth around like the entire continent. They can easily be little plague rats dropping off diseases. So they have to be up to date on all of their vaccines all of the time. And they had to get the COVID vaccine too, because they're going to be traveling from like Saskatchewan, Regina, down to like Houston. If you're driving like that, yeah, we want you to be vaccinated. That's so many places and so many people that you're going to be interacting with. You need to be wearing masks. And the thing is, it wasn't even like a large portion of the truckers. It was like, what was it, 10, 15% of the entire trucker force in Canada that like even cared about this. Most of them were just got their vaccines and carried on with their job. But there were these people who decided to throw a hissy fit about needing to do their job and not spreading diseases to people's grandmas as they drop off like cheaply made Chinese sweat factory products to their local Walmart. You know, is that not a reasonable thing to have? And then for just that, they call him a Nazi, a literal Nazi. They call him an assassin, an assassin for hitting them with the jokey pokey, the Fauci ouchie. Oh, that and the fact that they were like, that's really funny. On top of the fact where they're like, let my people go. Was anybody there when we covered the trucker thing where the truckers were basically, they had like drums and they were like, Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, there it is. It's my guy. It's him. I love this guy, dude. Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. Let my people go, dude. Let them go. I'm hitting the freaking drum. Okay? I'm hitting the drum for freedom. Let my people go. Get out of here, Trudeau. Why he got an indigenous drum? Because he's fighting for his freedom. That's why. Just like the Native Americans did.
A sketchy guy.
Yeah.
And he's got some fucking shaky deals. I would like to see like where the money is coming from. Like why do you want everybody to get injected every 4 months?
So here's the what the fuck is he even talking about? What's even happening? He's a shady guy with shaky deals. Why does he want people to get booster shots? Just so you know, booster shots work and they up your immunity and they stop you from spreading COVID. Here's the thing, okay? We have, percentage-wise, we have a higher amount of COVID cases at this moment in time than Canada does. The reason why is because here in the States, we pretend that COVID doesn't exist anymore. And in Canada, they still have some restrictions and they still ask people to get like their shots and everything, and they're still pushing it. I haven't heard a lot of politicians talk about COVID in like forever, but you know, they're up in Canada, they actually do care a little bit more. The numbers are through the damn charts. Yeah, it's still pretty bad. COVID is still simmering in this country, and it's actually very, very bad. When's the next booster? I don't know when the next booster is. I need to go get my booster shot sometime soon. I don't leave the house very often, so I kind of forget. But still, like, doesn't mean that it's not a bad thing to go get that. Like, I'm sorry, like, here's the thing with people like Joe, with the type of people that he's been around for so long. He's been like so conspiracy brained. He thinks that the only reason that anybody would want to do anything would be because they're being like paid for, is because they're being bought and sold for, like under the table by some like shady deal that leads them to do something that's bad for like the people or something, but is good for their own like bank account. And while with a lot of politicians, that's pretty true, that kind of negates the fact that some people just have beliefs. You know that, right? Like some people like genuinely have like beliefs and they believe things. The difference is here in the US, we like it's really funny. I think it's really interesting though. You know how like a lot of conservatives make fun of progressives for like having our minds too open that our brains fall out. The thing is like here in the United States, we like love the idea of people talking no matter how terrible what they have to say is, right? And we like would love to boost them up and give them clout and like make them seem as legitimate no matter how terrible and awful this person is. We're like so open-minded that our brain falls out. And also we're so open-minded that our country falls apart. And so in places like Canada, where they're like normal people, to us it seems insane because we're the crazy ones. Okay, we are the crazy ones. All right, there's a reason why a lot of our sister nations are not having the same issues as we are here in the States. It's not because they're the crazy ones, they're the fascist ones, and we're the normies. We're the crazy ones. They're the normal people. The thing is, like, if you ask your average Canadian, do you want to like live in the US when it pertains to specifically like gun violence and also like, you know, the drug problems that we have when it comes to like the conservatives and what they're doing to the country and our response to COVID, all of them would like laugh in your face and be like, are you insane? I actually like not dying. I like living in a country where people seem like normal. Right. And even like the conservatives of Canada are nowhere near as conservative as our conservative party here in the States. It's just like it doesn't make any sense. So like, yeah, I can understand somebody like Joe Rogan, who's super conspiracy brained, that he's like opened his mind up so hard that, you know, so far that his brain has fallen out now. And he's like, oh, there has to be something dubious going on under the surface. It could just be he's the leader of the party and he doesn't want the people in his country to die and suffer needlessly because of people lying about how the COVID vaccine will turn you into an alligator if you get it. And there's no reason to get a booster shot because I remember I read a headline of a article that was posted on Twitter by somebody who's named Fuckle Muffin 5522 MAGA 2024 to infinity on the Bird app, you know. But you know, that's just me.
They don't need that anymore. Like, what are we doing? What are you doing? You can't even get into Canada unless you're vaccinated.
Can't get in?
No. Make sure that's true. Because someone just told me, Whitney just told me, she had to show her fucking vaccination card to get into Canada.
I love that, dude. I love this shit. This is my favorite. This is my favorite Joe Roganism, where he like says something and then someone's like, man, really? And he's like, yeah, look that up. And then the editor's like, I can't find anything. It's my favorite Joe Rogan bit. It's Joe Rogan says something crazy. Someone's like, man, that's crazy. He goes, pull that up. He keeps talking. He's like, did you find it? The editor's like, no, there's literally nothing about it. And then he goes, huh, that's crazy. Anyways, it sounds pretty true. It's so good. Yeah, she has to prove she wasn't a bioweapon to be let into the country. That's crazy. You're telling me she had to prove that she isn't like carrying illnesses into the country? That shit's crazy. You know that you have to provide like medical information to when you're crossing into borders, right? Because they don't want people to just like give diseases from across the world to people, you know? You know, the whole reason for why like the COVID pandemic is like is a pandemic is because people were traveling places and not getting health checkups. You know that, right?
That seems
it's a little
like it adds up for
it's old.
Yeah.
Like it's 2022. It's not 2019.
You know where it still feels because I think things sway there so aggressively when something happens.
So here's the thing, I can't tell. Are these people intoxicated? Is that like their alibi? Are these people intoxicated right now? Are these guys under the influence of some amount of drugs, because like I know a lot of people on like Joe Rogan do drugs when they go there, but honestly, he with a lot of the people that he brings on, I can't, with the type of shit that they say, I actually can't tell if they're high. I can't tell if they're on drugs. I genuinely can't. Yeah, that's true. Like, dude, this is like, guys, this is like 2022. Diseases don't exist anymore. Are you guys okay?
Where it feels like you're like, wait, what time is it right now? Is in New York. I was just in New York.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere, everyone was masked up everywhere. I was like, what's going on? Why is everyone still masked up?
They're scared. We live here. It's a different place. Like everybody here said, well, I hope I don't get sick. Take care of yourself. Do your best. Get medicine if you get sick.
Yeah. But New York is, it was strange. I was there 2 weeks ago.
This is what I mean. Like when I say we're the crazy ones. Yeah, I hope that I don't get sick either, Joe. Yeah. It's just like, this is what I mean by we're the crazy ones. He's literally
this
like,
name is very real.
During a pandemic, when people are like, when people's family members are just dropping dead, people were wearing masks to help stop the spread of deadly diseases. And I was like, what's happening? Deadly diseases are so 2019. Who
this
cares?
Name is very real.
And they were just like scared. But here, it's like, if I kill somebody's grandma, sounds like a personal issue. And that's why we're so much better. It's actually brain dead. Oh, and sorry, I didn't even get to explain it. Justin Trudeau is not a communist. Communism is not when the government does stuff. And I mean, are we gonna have to pull up the old Wolf quote? Are we gonna have to? It's gonna have to happen.
This meme is very real.
It's going. You know what? We'll pull up the old SDL one as it do.
Socialism is when the government does stuff. And it's more socialism the more stuff it does. And if it does a real lot of stuff, it's communism.
He knows. He knows Marxism. It's true. He knows. The classic banger. And it is true. Socialism is when the government does stuff. And when a real lot of stuff's happening, congratulations, you've made your way to communism. Because socialism and communism is about when government does things. And capitalism and conservatism is about when the government do no things. And that's that's politics, because I'm smart. I'm smart. And that's politics, as you know.
It's bizarre. Yeah. It's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. They still wear masks indoors. Fucking Ali Wong was wearing a mask at your party. I kept talking to her and giving her shit. She'd take the mask.
What, berating people for trying not to get you sick again? What? Joe, wait. Just a pure example. Look, just take a look at this, okay? I want you to look at this. I want you to look really hard. Joe is absolutely correct. Here's an example why. And here's somebody who doesn't want to provide their COVID information about whether they have COVID or not and whether they've gotten vaccinated. And so they're not being let into the country because they don't know if they're carrying diseases. And then this guy's like, Joe's absolutely correct. Here's an example. That makes them communist? What's your definition of communism? That makes them communist? Yes. Next, communo-fascist. We've created an entirely new ideology. It's communo-fascism. Right. Yes. As stated already, compelled speech, which is all. Communism is when we tell you that words are mean. And when we tell you that the words are more mean, that the more socialism there is. And when we say that you said a slur, that's communism, boys. Right? That's communism. This is just brain dead, dog. I'm sorry. I don't know what more to say. I don't know what to tell you. It's just like proof of vaccination. And here's the craziest thing. Let me just show you this. Let me just show you this mad quickly, super quickly, okay? I think this is an incredible thing. On the CDC's website, requirements for proof of vaccination for air passengers. What you need to know. If you are a non-US citizen who is a non-immigrant, not a U.S. citizen, U.S. national, lawful permitted residence, or traveling to the United States, or an immigrant visa, you will need to show proof of being fully vaccinated against COVID-19 before you travel by air to the United States from a foreign country. Some categories of non-citizens include non-immigrants some categories of non-immigrants are excepted from this requirement. If you meet the criteria for one of those categories, you will need to fulfill additional requirements to travel by air to the United States. So, Joe, are we communist as well? This is still in place. People from Mexico, Canada, other countries still can't travel to the US without showing proof of vaccination. They will turn you back. If you think that like US security guards are gonna just let you slide because like you feel like you're too cool to abide by US law, I'll have to tell you, Border Patrol does not play any games. Okay? They don't play any memes at all. And because of that, you're not getting into the country without getting vaccinated. It's true. The U.S. has become Marxist, Leninist, Bidenist, communo-fascist. It's true. We are also communo-fascists. Everybody who says and does things that I don't like are fascists because I am very smart. This is completely ridiculous, Joe. Get a grip. Somebody needs to smack this boy upside his bald head to like reset his brain because something got knocked out in there, and it ain't good. It ain't good.